Hey everybody, welcome back to Without Code. My name is Ashton, and today I'm going to walk you through the setup of our new animated counter widget for the builder. This is a simple widget with one primary function, to show an animated counter on your web page. On the demo here, let me refresh the page. And for donations received, we can see a stylish animated count occurs, which can be useful for sites featuring charities, donations, crowdfunding campaigns, or similar. Let me switch over to the builder where I've got one of our themes set up to implement this widget. So the goal here is to use this Relief Funds Raised section as a place to incorporate our animated counter widget. We're working with a row set up here with two columns right now. First one has our preceding text, and the second one is empty, ready to add our widget. So let's jump into the widgets panel. From our basics section, let me grab our animated counter widget and drop it into the empty column. Now let's get this thing set up. Here in the settings panel, you'll need a unique ID right here, and you'll want to make sure this differs from any additional usage of this widget on the same page. And actually, before we go through the rest of the settings on this part, I want to run through the design settings of the widget first so we can get it looking right in this spot before we proceed. Let's look right here at counter layout. Now you have the option of horizontal or vertical. We'll keep it horizontal for now. Most cases we'll probably use the horizontal layout. Now the vertical layout places the prefix or the suffix symbol in text above or below the number. Now for counter alignment, since we're lining this up to the right side of our text box, we'll want this aligned to the far left. Next up for theme, there are some really cool options here with various styles, things like train station, slot machine, digital, lots of fun here, and any of them you pick in the panel here will display right here in the editor so you can get an idea of how it looks on your page. Keep in mind here that some of the elements like prefix, suffix, commas, or periods might not appear styled the same way as the rest of the numbers in certain themes. I'll just leave this as default for now, but definitely have some fun with this. Now, if you leave this as default, that'll give you a bunch of customization options down here in Theme Options. So let's expand this flyout panel, and I'll make some changes here so that it matches our theme and spacing better. So let's go with Old Standard Font. We'll size it up to 50. We'll go with this gold color that's consistent on this theme, and we'll make it bold. There we go. Now already here in the editor we can see it fitting in much nicer. So let me jump now into Prefix Style, and this will apply to anything that you enter in the content section that serves as a prefix to the actual number count. And we'll apply the same text styling settings. So we'll go Old Standard, size 50, gold, but we won't bold it this time. You've also got the same settings available for suffix if you need to use that for your particular counter. Not necessary for ours here, but the option is there. And finally, you've got customization options for spacing, as always, which allow you to precisely determine how you want the counter to sit on the page. But we're all good to go here, so let's jump back to the content section. We've already covered unique ID. Start number is, of course, where the counter begins at, and end number is what it counts to. So we'll keep the start at 0, and we'll make it count up to, let's say, 48,350. And we don't enter any commas here as we have a separate place to configure that, just numbers for this field. Now you may notice that we could reverse the numbers that we put in for start and end. Now in most cases people will want the widget to count upwards, however since you can enter any number for the start and end, you have the ability to count up or down. But just keep one thing in mind: if you do use the widget to count down, the widget doesn't view the number as one single number, such as 25,000. It views each digit separately. So if you set it to count down, it will count each number down to 0. So if you start with 25,000 and count to 0, the end result will be 5 zeros instead of just 1. So for this reason, it's probably best just to stick with counting a number up, unless it's just a single digit. Next up is counter format. Now this selector allows the use of commas and periods, or decimals, in various locations to better account for international numbering. I'll go ahead and pick this option right here. And next we have counter prefix and suffix, as I mentioned before, where you can type anything to precede or follow the actual counter. I'll type a $sign in the prefix box, but feel free to put any symbol or text that you want. Same with suffix. Perhaps you might want to put a cents icon. And finally, down here in animation, we have an option for animation delay, and this allows for a delay before the animation begins. So that about covers it. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Have some fun with this one, and don't hesitate to reach out if you need any additional assistance. Catch you next time.